I'm gonna tell you right now, if John Cena put his hands on me backstage, I would have beat the dog shit out of John Cena. It probably would have been better if it was just a physical altercation, because at least I could have ended things quickly. But the fact that it was just this verbal abuse, I couldn't really do anything but take it.
It seems the heels advocate has to make this video, my brothers and sisters of the Heels Advocate YouTube channel. This is a video that I have been planning to make for a long time, and I will probably make another dedicated video talking about how much of a heel John Cena is IRL. Specifically, you know, with his time with Nikki Bella when he was on the reality show with Total Divas, like how much of a like weird, almost autistic person that he is. Like, okay, so at 4 p.m. it's book time. At 5 p.m. it's liquor time. At 7 p.m. we all come down together and we dress up and we're all gonna have dinner together. If you're staying at my house and if you want to stay awake after 12 o'clock midnight, please tell me so. Daniel Bryan, this is a message to you. Daniel, can I ask you why you haven't put gel in your hair and why you aren't wearing dress shoes in my house? So I got another, it's just a big video I can make on this as well. But let us talk about what David Otunga pretty much came out and said, like caused, you know, John Cena to start verbally abusing him. So pretty much this is not the match right here, but this right here is pretty much where like the beef between John Cena and David Otunga started to happen. So pretty much, right, David Otunga is going to tell a story about how they were doing house shows in Paris, for example. And the thing about these house shows is that, you know, when they're on tour and they go to different cities and like, you know, wrestle in dark matches, they usually all wrestle the same opponent and they all go over the same rehearsed match. And this one time, John Cena messed up a spot where he was supposed to get slingshotted off the top rope, right? So like his head rests on the top rope. Then David pushes the rope and then he pulls it back and he slingshots John Cena all the way back. And instead of like John Cena waiting to get slingshotted, he immediately jumps back when David just grabs the rope and then he starts just to go crazy on him, right? He starts trying to like, you know, tackle him, trying to attack him, right? So that is pretty much where the beef started. And before that, they were cordial. So I'm going to let David Otunga, you know what I'm saying, the Nexus boy, one of my favorite guys on Nexus, come out and explain it, because this really is something that this is something I know of John Cena, and I know it is like his character trait. And personally speaking, I wouldn't be too much of a fan of his character trait, but you know, the thing is this: I don't want to know John Cena IRL. I don't want to know John Cena personally. All I want to see is John Cena, the character on TV. I don't really personally care about his, you know, IRL, you know, like relationships with people. And, you know, if I were to know him IRL, I wouldn't really want to get to know him that much, because he's just one of those guys that like, you know, are like, yeah, you know, like always on kayfabe 24/7, and they're always like, you know, PR trained. So let's hear it from David Otunga, what really happened here.
A heel, which I was the heel, will take a baby face and drape his neck over the top rope. So like this, hung up, right? The guy's hanging there. The heel will then come, place his hands on the rope, right? While the guy's hung up. Next, so he'll be next to me. You push the rope out, then you pull it back, and the babyface jerks back up and takes a bump. You understand what I'm saying? So you're draped here, you pull the rope up, you take a back bump. So I do this with John Cena in the match. And Goldust has already told him, hey, you know, Otunga's gonna do, you know, this simple thing in the match. Okay, he didn't even need to tell him that, but he was saying, just letting him know that he had worked with me earlier, we're gonna do that. So I hang John Cena up on the ropes. John Cena's hanging on the ropes. I'm flexing, doing my stuff. I slowly walk over. Now remember, John Cena's hung up. I reach out like this. I grab the ropes. I grab it to then push it out and then pull it back is the move. So here we are. I'm rewind back. I grab the top rope. The moment I grab the top rope, Cena does this awful looking sell. I didn't push it back and pull it yet. I just touched the rope and he sold it. So do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't even do the move yet. I'm supposed to grab it, push it out, then pull it back. So it looks like, you know, I'm yanking him off it. The moment I touched the rope, Cena sold it. He sold it way too early and it was wrong and it looked terrible, right? Oh, I didn't say anything about it. I turned around. Boy, Cena is pissed. He's kicking my ass in there for real and cussing me out, telling me how terrible I am, I'm awful. I live in fantasy land. This is over. I'm going back to FCW. Like, this is it for me. In the middle of the match. And
in the middle. Sorry, I just had to do it. So then he goes on to tell like many more stories of the same thing. And one thing that really particularly caught my attention, and I will, I'll come back to David Otunga as well. But it is like this thing, you probably have seen this, right? It is Randy Orton. So he's in a match against the Nexus. John Cena is the guest referee. And John is like, everybody is like waiting for a cue from Randy Orton, right? And the cue is when Randy goes in on all fours and he starts to pound the mat, right? And then if he's, immediately does that, then Otunga comes in for the distraction. But, Randy did it way too early.
KO. I was supposed to hop up on the apron and distract Cena. This was supposed to be deep in the match leading to the finish. Randy tells me specifically, I'm only going to do that one time. So this is your cue. Match goes on, and they're about midway through the match, and Randy goes down and starts pounding on the mat, signaling for the RKO. This is a lot earlier on in the match than I expected this to come. So Randy told me when he does this for me to jump up. So Randy does it. I now am thinking, I don't think this is the right time, but okay, he did it. So what do I do? I jump up to do the distraction. Boy, Cena was pissed. He came over and kneed me and started punching me and is cussing me out in the middle of this. Like, you effing idiot. This ain't the right time. Going on. Randy does it again later in the match, and I jump back up and it's taken care of. Now, we get in the back. Cena is pissed. But Randy says, first thing back there, thank God he said this in front of him. He's like, oh, sorry, Otunga, my bad. He's like, and then he's explaining, he's like, I told him, what the cue was. I forgot, and I accidentally did it early. And so Cena was still furious, and like, he wanted to go off on me so bad. And then now, like, Randy's basically telling him what happened, and he realized he can't. So he's still like all wound up. And we went out afterwards, and of course, Cena made me drink with him. We had to have a shot. I think he tried to give me 16 shots of Jack Daniels that night. No lie. And he tells me during the middle of it, he's like, Otunga, he's like, you're lucky that Randy blew that spot. That was going to be your ass. That was going to be it for you. When Randy went down and started pounding the mat.
And so that is clearly one of like the behaviors that is like, prevalent in the WWE, I guess, especially with John Cena. John is like one of those people, I would assume, that if you were to mess something up, he was going to freaking, just tear you down. And like, I feel, people like, Hulk Hogan always get like the bad end of the stick because obviously he's much older. His career has already ended and the story has already came out. And with John Cena, I feel the way that he kind of is like he's such a toy soldier, right? He's molded by Vince McMahon. His name is literally owned by Vince McMahon. Everything that he has is because of Vince McMahon. And so he has this like undying, resilient, kind of like, trooper mentality to the point where any orders that he has, he will execute them and he will expect you to do the same thing, right? And when it comes down to, for example, taking the blame when something happens, right? The culture of wrestling, I believe, is just pretty much who can take the blame, right? Which one is the weakest links for us to give the blame to? It's kind of like when the curtain call happened and Triple H was the guy that was starting to get buried by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania, and he was getting like featured in poop segments where like literally poop is falling from the ceiling and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is kind of the culture of the WWE, and David Otunga just keeps on telling more of these stories, man.
Cena messed this up. He missed I don't know what he was doing. He sold it way too fast and went crazy on me. The worst I've ever been cussed out or just disrespected to the point where, I questioned if I even wanted to work there anymore, where I don't make a mistake and I'm disrespected like this. Absolutely not. So I really had to think about that. And if I'm being honest, that changed the way that I saw John Cena forever. It actually changed the way I saw the company too. Like, because, nobody did anything about it. I think Goldust, said something to him, but like, there was never an apology. Like, hey, I saw what time it was. Let's be honest. I saw how I was treated. I saw what time it was. Now, Cena.
Now, pretty much, I also have to say, when it comes down to John Cena, like, who is John Cena gonna, get pulled aside by and get chewed out by? You know what I'm saying? he came in a time when all the big stars were already exiting, right? You still would have had your, Triple H's and Undertakers, but these guys, they didn't want to carry the company. Like you think, Undertaker wanted to become a year-long WWE champion, a 17-time world champion, and like, be on every single house show. And bro, you know what I'm saying? These guys today barely want to wrestle, let alone somebody that's been doing it for 20 years, So I think as soon as John Cena became like the top guy, everything was around him. Everything revolved around him. And if he did something very poor, it's like, bro, his plot armor is so thick that he can't even take the blame for his own mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like somebody, walking down the street and then like, they trip and then they blame the president or something. I was, I was like, oh, why didn't the president, fix the road? Bro, just watch where you're going, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those things, you know what I'm saying?
Until this time, I had never seen John Cena blow up on anybody like this. In fact, I'd never seen anybody blow up on anybody like this for anything. I'd never seen somebody be treated like, listen to what I'm saying. If what John Cena thought was true, that I made a mistake, this is how you treat me? So imagine trying to get better at this craft that I've hardly been doing, and they rushed me up to the main roster. And I'm terrified to make a mistake because if I do, I have the top guy yelling at me, telling me I'll be fired. Not to mention, I'm doing this on live TV. There's no do-overs. There's no second takes. Around the world, millions of people watching. Do you know how nerve-wracking that is? And if I make a mistake, John Cena is not only going to bury me to the boss, tell me I should be fired, but then, disrespect me like as a human being. This is what I'm dealing with. And I'm supposed to, be brave enough to go out there and not be afraid to fail. Come on.
And that is very, very true. You know what I'm saying? Like, wrestling has always been, big F's small, right? This underlying tone of, I am here. This is the hierarchy. I am above you and I will keep you down. That is like always what will be in any work environment. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be like a hierarchy, you know what I'm saying? And, when it even comes down to like promotions or whatever, right? Even in the regular work world, I'm sure most of you guys, feel the same way. It's like, there is a slot, you fill the slot, and then you stay in the slot, right? Like the logic is this, right? If you can't replace the CEO, who the hell are you to replace the guy above you? You know what I'm saying? Even if you work really hard, even if you work like all the way to the top and you know everything, it's kind of like, okay, but the dragon has 3 heads and all 3 are of the same body. You know what I'm saying? So like if you cut one off, another head is still there. If you cut that one off, another one is still there. So it's kind of like fighting a battle that is not even worth fighting. Just stay in your lane, do your thing, and then keep going. And that is why in WWE, you don't have anybody new at the top right now. Like John Cena is still the top guy. People want to talk about Vince pushing Roman Reigns, but think about it, man. Like if it wasn't for Vince giving Roman Reigns that plot armor and The Rock backing up Roman Reigns and like saying, look, man, this is my cousin, and don't like mess up with my cousin. I'm saying his brother is already dead. We done got no more like top tier Samoans, and I'm saying, and what more do you want, man? The guy got the perfect eyes, the perfect beard, the perfect neck, the perfect back, the perfect you know what I'm saying? He got everything, bro. So push this guy to the moon, right? Cena's gonna be out. He's gonna go do like those like stupid movies in Hollywood, Ricky Stenacki or whatever the hell. He's gonna come on Hollywood, like all dressed down, and he's gonna get like this humiliation ritual where he's at like in front of the Oscars doing this BS right here. Like, what even is this? Like, I love John, right? But it's kind of like such a hard watch, right? Somebody like John, I can't say his career in Hollywood is a success. People will talk about Peacemaker. Bro, like, with all due respect, if you enjoy Peacemaker, I'm happy for you. But in my opinion, I could care less about Peacemaker. I could give a damn about Peacemaker or Ricky Stenacki, or I guess his role in Fast and Furious is pretty cool. But then again, like, he plays a role that pretty much The Rock put him into. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Roman Reigns being in that like Hobbs and Shaw movie, you know, like Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, and like Roman Reigns and like The Rock were like in Samoa or somewhere, and like they're doing the haka and stuff like that. It's like, bro, it's because of The Rock. You know what I'm saying? So like even him being in Fast and Furious is because of The Rock. So it's like, is it really his own accomplishment? I don't know. You know, at least Dave Bautista is Drax, right? Like he did it. You know what I'm saying? He's in one of the biggest franchises of all time, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I get it, right? At least John is with DC. I understand it. But to see him leave wrestling to do BS like this is so annoying, right? And at the same time, I've seen like posts on like in clips of like John Cena at a red carpet, and then like he's like talking about like this one singer, I forgot her name. Like it was like this like Albanian girl, I forgot her name, like I don't know, right? And then he's like, oh yeah, you know, John like pulled me aside one time and he told me how much of a star I am and like, you know, what I mean to the world. And I was like, oh my God, John, that's so nice. It's like, bro, you know what I felt like? It's kind of like he's trying to force his way into that like, you know, Hollywood niche world. But even that world is, like I said, it's like big F small. You can't really get into that world unless like you're like The Rock kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like even The Rock took such a long time. And even now he's like a top guy or whatever, but he still doesn't have that respect. You know, it's kind of weird, right? So I admire John Cena doing everything. I'm not here like I don't hate him. Like I'm just saying, I wish he wouldn't commit as much to the acting like he does right now. And like I've seen a clip from a podcast where he said like, look, I want to do a 220 date final calendar year retirement tour, right? I wanted to set everything aside, and then I was like, you know, guess what, man? I can barely do 35. I'm happy I only do 35, right? Let's just take a look at this.
I threaded the needle just enough. The plan originally was to do like a full year. This is just goes to show my ignorance of the business. I wanted to do 220 dates. Just take a year off of everything, hop on a bus, do a full WWE calendar, and like totally say goodbye. Thank goodness that the business isn't like that anymore. Because I would be, if you took a gingerbread man, just broke him, I'd be done. They only needed me for 36.
And that is another video I will talk about, right? Because the fact of the matter is this. John didn't say, I wanted to do 220, but I knew I couldn't. That's why I did 36. No, he said, I wanted to dedicate my entire final year to WWE, 220 dates, right? And the WWE said, we only need you for 36. So then I ask myself the question here. When he has that type of dedication to go to Hollywood and then bounce back and forth in between movies and SummerSlam and WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble, then I wondered to myself, he has that type of dedication. Where is that dedication to plot lines? Right? Where is your dedication to those plot lines that you could have even like worked with The Rock? It was all set up for you. You didn't do anything with it. Why? If you wanted to be there for 220 dates and now you're only doing like you know, the 10% of it, you know, 15% of it, why aren't you trying to maximize the plot lines of it? So, like I said, I'll have to be, you know, I'll make another video about this as well, but it's all weird to me, right? So like when I see, for example, John Cena going to Hollywood and doing all that stuff, and then he, you know, this is the way he talks about wrestling as if, you know, oh my God, I'm not leaving on my own terms. If, you know, if I could, I would do it, you know, forever. And I agree with that. He's definitely slower. He's definitely more telegraphed. His back is bent. He's like, you know what I mean? Like he's got the like anterior pelvic tilt. So it's like I see him getting older. I see him getting slower, and I just wish this final year would have came down to a proper ending, right? But that is a different topic. And so the fact is, this guy, even on his last year, broken down, battered, he still wanted to give everything that he got. And I think that is like the line that, you know, he likes to cross with everybody, right? He wants to give this business everything because this business gave him everything. So when he, you know, like has a mess up, has a hiccup, has some backstage heat with somebody, or like he's burying like the Nexus, for example, at SummerSlam, and he doesn't put him over, like it's only later on he feels bad about it, and only later on he'll be like, oh yeah, that was maybe a mistake, or maybe I shouldn't have chewed out Otunga like I did, or maybe I shouldn't have had like, you know, beef with this guy like I did, right? And it's always in these like confined spaces, like, oh yeah, only in the ring, or for example, backstage quickly, you know, he yelled at Otunga and boom, I'm out, right? Like he'll attack and then boom, he'll dip, and then he will leave the guy that he just assaulted just to like think to himself like, what the fuck do I even do now, bro? Like even like Alex Riley, for example, is like I'm sure he has some stories as well, you know? Like, so that is a problem with the WWE, right? I think, oh, like, did Otunga mess up? No. Did John Cena go overboard? Yes. And like he has shame in the way that he went overboard and the way that he lost his cool, to the point where every time he sees Otunga, he sees his own mistakes and he doesn't want to work with that no more, right? I think that is why John Cena in his later years was just, you know, putting over everybody, because he just couldn't do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? He just couldn't get himself to be that involved anymore, or like that invested. So that is why you would see him putting over Roman, putting over Austin Theory, putting over Solo Sikoa, putting over like, you know, Cody Rhodes, right? You know, or like Jey Uso, right? He just doesn't care anymore, bro. And then this is like another prime example of John Cena. I really just don't like to use his word, but like he's kind of like a little bit like a he's got a bit of the tism, if you will. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bit of the tism. So David Otunga tells a story where he wins the tag titles with John Cena, right? Like he became tag titles with John Cena. And after the match was over, John Cena tried to pull like a prank on him, right? So and the prank was John Cena takes both titles and then he walks off backstage and then he goes away. Okay. And then so like the prank was that John Cena took the titles, and because David Otunga didn't come barging in, where the fuck is my title? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's John? Where bring me my title, right? So like because he didn't go in like look for his titles, because obviously, you know, if your tag team partner has both titles, you're like, he got the titles, you know, that's all cool. And so again, John Cena tried to prank him. Otunga like was like, oh yeah, this is a prank. Oh shit, my bad, right? So once again, another failed thing of John Cena, and because it failed, John Cena got mad. So like he'll do something, it fails, and then he'll get mad at like it not working, and he'll try to put the guilt on you, right? So like oh my god, bro. Let's just take a listen.
Cool. So now we walk back to, mind you, this is my first ever championship. I haven't been at the company that long. I was a lawyer at the top firm in Chicago before this. Wrestling culture is new to me. I don't know what the protocol is after winning a title. Nobody's ever told me. I've never really been there to witness this. But Cena tells me that I need to make sure, he says, oh, good job, and then make sure you get the titles from Rhodes and McIntyre. So I say, okay. So I go in the back, you know, in the locker room. Cody and Drew are talking or doing whatever they're doing, so I'm not hanging out all over them. But eventually, then when I see them, they're doing, hey, I need to grab the titles from you guys. And Drew tells me, oh, well, Cena took them. And I say, oh, he did? Yeah, oh, Cena took them, brother. I said, oh, okay, well, cool. So Cena took him on his bus and is headed to the next town, which means he already grabbed the titles. So obviously, I think, you know, Cena asked me to grab the titles. I think maybe he thought I would forget or something. I don't know. So he just grabbed them for me. Why would I look for something if I knew where it was? Well, I don't know, but you got to go apologize to him. Like, you should go apologize to him. So like, this is the most childish thing, but okay, like, all right. So I then go to try to find John, who is being passive aggressive and ignoring me. And like he sees me coming and then tries to walk away from me. So I like literally have to go chase him down. And I'm trying to get him. He keeps averting his eyes from me. I have to go and like corner him. John, hey.
Like I can just imagine like, oh my god, like, you know, like it's just, oh my god, like you just have to like live a certain time in life to like know these types of people, bro. It's like he knows, he sees him, right? John knows Otunga sees him, and Otunga knows John sees him, but John, he does like this like fucking Bollywood scene where he's like, oh my god, stop chasing me, like come on, I don't know, what are you doing, bro? You know, like what, you know what I mean? Oh, then don't follow me. Okay, fine, look, okay, here it is. Okay. You know, like come on, bro, what are you doing?
Just want to say I'm really sorry. You know, it's my first time winning titles. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I'm sorry. I thought that you had the titles. I didn't know. And he like won't say anything to me, and just, you know, doesn't say a word, just Like, okay.
Oh my god, bro! Like, oh, like so like I gotta make a video on Nikki Bella having to deal with him, and then I gotta make another video about the WWE capping about like his calendar year, bro. Oh my god, man! Can you imagine like Nikki Bella having to deal with this, bro? It's like, come on, bro. And like the only reason why like she's dealing with John Cena, like she dealt with John Cena, is because like he was a top guy, bro. If John like was just like a regular dude, like, bro, but these bitches would be like, bro, you're such a fucking weirdo, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're just you're a little baby, bro.
Okay. I just had to apologize to another grown man, the face who runs the place, because his rib failed. He tried to trick me and it didn't work. And he was mad because I outsmarted him, but I didn't know I was outsmarting him. I didn't know that this was a rib or a joke, like, but now I'm punished for it. It was like he was just coming up with creative ways to be angry or upset with me. I still...
Oh my god, bro. Like this video, I really suggest everybody just to watch it in its entirety, bro. It's like a gift that keeps on giving, bro. Like, I love John. I swear to God, like this doesn't take away from any of my love. If anything, like it just gives me like a more complete picture of a human, right? You know, we all have like our downsides and like our upsides, our good sides, bad sides, positive, negatives, yada yada yada. So this is just something that like, you know, Cena is like has a negative in, right? He's just a little bit of oh my god, like in Turkish, like, you know, in Turkish, like we like the best way that we can describe the like a person like this is he's just so busy, bro. Right? He's just so busy on your emotions, bro. He's so fucking busy. Like it's like, bro, like I just, like, you know, you just can't take a fucking breath. You smother me, right? He's one of those guys. So anyway, this is another story where in kayfabe. So pretty much there was an acting class in WWE. For promos and stuff like that, right? And you know, like the agent pretty much tells Otunga, okay, so there's a segment where the character David Otunga is in the ring with Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett forces David Otunga with the power of whatever, blah blah blah, with the nexus. He peer pressures Otunga to lay down and give the titles over to Wade Barrett. Boom, okay? That is a segment. They do it. Otunga goes backstage, and Otunga just, please take it from here, bro.
Rushing over to me. He's going off. This isn't as bad as Paris, but he's going off. And he's telling me how much I suck, number one, how much he didn't like my acting in the segment, but more importantly, he's telling me that I'm nothing and I'm weak because I went through with the segment. And he's like, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have laid down. But you did. I'm like, John, that's in the script. What are you talking about? I wouldn't have laid down. I wouldn't have relinquished the titles. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean? You're a character or you the actor? And he's telling me like me, like the actor. Like, I shouldn't have laid down. John, it's in the storyline. What are you're like talking about the Montreal Screwjob or something. You want me to go into business for myself where this is the segment we've rehearsed, you know, with Vince too. And I'm supposed to lay down. What do you want me to do? Kick out, you know, roll Heath over and cover him, run out with the titles, say, I'm keeping these, I'm not giving them over. That is what he was telling me that he would have done.
And like the thing is this, if Otunga would have done that, Otunga were to go backstage, John Cena would have chewed him up again. So like I said, like he's just so busy and he just smothers you. Like just John, get the fuck off me, bro. I love this shit, bro. I love it. Like if I were a bystander, bro, and like if I was a third person being involved in all of this, I'd be like, oh my god, John is doing it again. You know what I'm saying? It's just so funny, bro. But like imagine being in an Otunga's position, bro. Right? Like your entire life you want to be a fucking wrestler. And like this isn't not, bro. The WWE isn't John Cena's, right? If Vince tells you this is the storyline, you go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, bro. It's just so crazy. Like has there never been a segment where John was like, you know, I just have to go out there and do it? Like, come on, bro. You think John Cena wanted to go out there at WrestleMania and job out? Like, you know what I mean? Against Undertaker? Like you don't think John wanted to go out there and have a match with John, like proper match with Undertaker? You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Oh, I wouldn't have done it. Come on. And then like when it comes to him like being selfless, like he'd be like this, right? He'd be like, you know, whatever you guys want to do, let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like we even saw this on like WWE Unreal, bro. Let's just, you know, like let's take a look at this. And so he's telling Otunga for example, like, oh yeah, I would have not done that. Like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, so like, you wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I bet you wouldn't have done that because Vince McMahon wouldn't have you, booked to lay over and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Vince McMahon wouldn't have made you look like a fucking beta male, bro. It's like, it's just one of those weird things. Like, wrestling, like, it's such a, like, I love wrestling, but it's such a, like, high schooler for toddlers, bro. You know what I mean? It's such a high school for toddlers. Grown fucking toddlers, bro. I swear to God, man. Wrestling is such a, like, weird pool of people, bro.
Think about that. You're John Cena. You could get away with that. I haven't even been here a year, and you've already tried to tell Vince to get rid of me and fire me. Send me back to FCW. Like, I can't go into business for myself and just start rewriting the script. I mean, if that were the case, are you crazy? I would have taken those titles. I would have taken the championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship. I would have collected them all if I could just, write the booking myself. But like, this was so ridiculous to me. Like, still, I do not understand this. That was the first time I kind of stood up to Cena and, defended myself because he'd already done so much to me and disrespected me. I'm going to respect myself. And, now we're on a level playing field. I don't care if you're the top guy. You're not going to talk to me like that. You're not. So after that, he would still try to mess with me, but like, it didn't work. And I remember, like, we're supposed to go around and shake everybody's hand when we get to the building, and Cena would pull his passive aggressive stuff. I would go to shake his hand. He would make himself hard to find or avert his eyes from me or whatever. So you know what I did? I don't care, man. I'm not chasing you down to shake your hand and tell on me if you feel like it. And he did, but whatever. But either way, after that, he just had less of an impact on me because I just wouldn't sell him. And it's like any bully. After a while, he kind of got tired of picking on me because it wasn't really working. It doesn't mean he didn't try, but like, he then realized, look, I think he realized pretty quick though, Otunga's a real dude. He's not playing with me anymore. And that was my energy because I was not. All of the conventions went out of the window and wrestling culture and respect I was supposed to pay. I'm not fooling around anymore. So we end up still working together, being super professional. Everything was always really stiff and snug when we worked, but it was cool. Then there was a tag team match, McGillicuddy and Husky Harris against John Cena. I don't know who his partner was. And
so this pretty much was like the topic I wanted to talk about, man. Let's just, like, I wanted to get my few cents about this. Like, listen, I love John Cena. This doesn't change my opinion about John Cena one bit. We just have to accept the fact that, it is a little quirky world of professional wrestling. It is, like, at the end of the day, grown-ass men pretending to be actually fighting, and there's a lot of egos at play. And it's hard to sometimes separate the act from the actor when it comes down to the actual performance. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like John Cena really suffered from that. And because he was like the top guy, it was kind of hard for him to relate. It's just one of those things. I wish somebody, bro. Oh man, I wish people would just start fighting more backstage, man. That would be so much more fun. We would have so much more to talk about. But yeah, like I said, David Otunga, he really made a gem of a video with this one. Please go out and check out his video. I'm the Heels Advocate, and I'm out.